And welcome to another edition of the UIS Prairie Stars Coaches Show. I'm Tony Black. Joining me today is women's head coach Marne Fauser and men's head coach Ben Wierzba. Marne, we'll get started with you. Your thoughts on this season, your second year here at UIS?
I'm really proud of our girls. We doubled our wins this year, and we won 3 games in the GLVC, and those are huge steps for the vision of the program. So I'm really proud of our girls, and we got some work to do in the off season, but I'm excited about next year.
And Ben, it was your first year here at UIS, and your overall thoughts about it?
It was a whirlwind getting hired when I did, but the guys kept getting better each day, and it paid off at the end of the year. They came in with a good attitude, and day by day we got better, and they got rewarded at the end of this season.
And Marne, you won your first conference game in your 2 years here against Rockhurst. Tell me about the feeling of the first conference win.
I think it took a little pressure off the players. Everybody wanted to get that first win, and I think it gave them confidence to finish out the second part of conference play. And to win it at home was special because everybody's family was there and supporters were there. So that was nice to get it at home, and then I think it led to the other ones we received on the road.
And your first conference win was against Maryville, at Maryville. Talk about your first win and how it felt coming on the road.
Well, anytime you get a win in the conference, especially on the road, it's tough to do. But the guys stayed together, and they kept fighting. They never gave in. They never gave in to the adversity. They came in with a good attitude and kept practicing hard, and happy to see them get rewarded for victory.
And Ben, the first couple of games this season, they were very tight. Hair-raising, gray hair, everything you can imagine in your first 2 games. And talk about your first 2 games, winning by a point in each of those.
Yeah, coming in, I told the guys after the first night that I didn't want to keep getting those easy or the tough victories like that. But to get the first victory the way we did, coming from or having the lead most of the game, Lake Superior State getting a bucket with 2 seconds left to take the lead, but Brandon Farmer going the full length of the court and taking it to the basket and hitting the shot to win. That's being the first game as a head coach and getting your first victory is nothing I'll ever forget. And then the second night, the guys just battled it out, back-to-back nights of games, and just find ways to get a victory. And Ghazi making a free throw with 1 second left, and I'm just proud of the guys for the way they battled.
And your first month of the season, you won 3 games, which was as many as you won in your first year. Mm-hmm. So talk about your November and how what that was like to win 3 games in November.
I think starting off early and getting a couple wins just starts building confidence, and especially when you have a really young team, you need some games like that to get some confidence just to propel you, because the conference season is really difficult and it's a battle every night and you have to come prepared. We have a lot of great teams and great coaches in this league, but I think it was good for the girls again with their confidence.
And your young team, you dressed 4 freshmen this year. What was the maturation process and how you'd like to see them grow up in the 3 months that you guys play basketball?
Mm-hmm. And I think you could see it as you watch the year. In November, some of our freshmen were just trying to get their feet wet at the college level. They didn't realize the speed of the game or how physical the game was. And I think Alyssa Palmer is a perfect example that by January she started figuring some things out. And I think, for my money, it was one of the best freshmen in the league. And I think it just takes them time to understand the level of the game. And now they see how hard they need to work in the off season and where we need to be to compete in the league come next year. But I'm excited. Our freshmen played really well, but our junior college transfers and Bailey Beal and Christina played just as well and had significant playing time and brought a lot to our program. So I'm excited about who we have returning.
And Ben, you were hired late, as you said, early September. You came in. What was it like to tell the guys, about your system and just a few weeks?
I think the biggest thing when I got here was just trying to build relationships and trying to get them to trust in me and buy into what we were trying to do. But I was having to get to know them as well. And 14 new guys and a new coach coming in with 14 guys that have been here for 3 weeks, just to get to know one another. But by the time we got along, we had very good team chemistry at the end of the year. Guys were wanting to hang out with one another on and off the court. We were able to joke and have a good time, but when we got on the court, we knew when it was business, and it paid off in the long run.
How instrumental was your assistant coach, Jeremy Herring, in the transition time?
Well, Jeremy was great, being able to recruit these guys and keep them all here with the process that was going on with hiring a new coach, but being able to have the trust and respect of the players. So when I came in, it was an easy adjustment. He worked his tail off and proud of him.
And your assistant coach, Chris Burton, has some Division I experience like yourself. Let's talk about Chris and his impact on your sideline.
Chris is great. I think he's a great addition to the program. He has a lot of ties in Indiana, being that where he's from, but also the AAU experience. I think he is a great people person, that he can develop relationships with our current players as well as in the recruiting process. And he's young and he's a go-getter, and he's excited and wants to learn the game. And so he brought a lot to the program, and it was great having him on staff. And I think, you know, sometimes it's hard when you're going through like a losing stretch, but I think he's part of the reason why we could keep our heads up, because he helps keep things positive at practice. So I'm excited and look forward to having him back on the bench next year as well.
What were your thoughts this season on the GLVC?
It's a tough league. Obviously, we see that, and 6 of the 8 teams out of the region are from the GLVC. It's a very tough league, and you know, it's great to get our last win against Lewis, who eventually became the conference champions. But I think it gives our girls momentum that they know that we can be there. But it is a tough league every night, and we have teams in the top 25 all through the year. But it's exciting to be a part of something that's so great.
Now, would it be something that you tell your team that you can just get in like Lewis did, and then win 4 straight and make it to the NCAA tournament?
And we've had that discussion, and the girls know. And the night that Quincy was playing Indy, you know, I'm live statting the game. I'm texting the girls back and forth, and they just couldn't believe that Quincy lost, and they couldn't believe that Lewis was going to be in a championship game. And their thought process, and a couple of them even said it, is, it just shows you anything can happen. And it's true that anything can happen. And I think that they see that, and they see the teams in our league, and they see how close we were in some of those games. And so I think it provides them something to push for, and know that when it's tough in the off season working out, there's a reason for it, and that it will turn around coming this next year.
And on the men's side, the East Division was a tough part of the GLVC. Northern Kentucky and Bellarmine, who's ranked number 2 in the country right now.
I think top to bottom, all 15 teams in our division, there's not an easy night. You can take off any nights, and you can see that from the play of everybody in the conferences. Maryville took them however long to win a game, but they win 3 straight where they're beating Kentucky Wesleyan, who was ranked in the top 25 at the time. Ourselves, who beat Lewis, who won our division. But there's never an easy night. You've got to bring it every night, and that's the fun part about college athletics. It's you get a chance to compete every night, and you've got to give everything you have to go out there and see what you have. There's no time to relax. You got to get ready for the next game after that one's over and move forward.
And your schedule this past year had to be one of the toughest in the country. You played Finley, who was second ranked in the country and who didn't make it to the NCAA tournament, which is still a head scratcher. Yep. But, you know, talk about your schedule in that last year and how tough it was.
Well, I think when we stepped on the court, we played our first 5 games in 8 days. And so it was a quick turnaround, and not much time to prepare, not much time to get better, but the guys came out and competed and battled. But to play the top teams in our conference, you know, your teams in the GLIAC conference are good as well. And so the chance to step over and play the Finleys, the Hillsdales, it's just like getting ready for your conference season. And that's what we try to tell our guys, that even the region games are just as important as conference games when it comes to that.
And one of the biggest nail biters you had was against UIndy, who snuck into the NCAA tournament. Talk about that UIndy game.
Well, Darius Adams was one of the best players in the conference, and we did a good job defensively, except for, you know, a couple of shots he made. He scored his points, but he had to work for everything he got. And that's one of the games where you feel bad for the guys because they played as hard as they could, and it just came up on the short end of the stick that night. But they never quit. They came back and got ready for the rest of the game the next night.
And Marne, talk about Paulina, who had another great season this year, and what she meant, and how much you're going to miss her.
Paulina she's my first recruit as a head coach, so she keeps reminding me that I'll always have a special place for her because of that. And it's true, she's a great kid. We didn't really get to go through the recruiting process and get to know one another, especially when it was a late hire. I started in May and I needed somebody for the next year. She came in and was great for us. She was a leader in her junior year, and I think we surrounded her with some players that have helped her. And she's just a great person, and she's goofy at times, but she's a great person, and I look forward to her doing a lot of great things as she moves on, leaves college, and I look forward to keeping in touch with her. She's still part of the recruiting process with us with new prospective student athletes, and I think that's just a testament to the type of kid she is and the relationship that we have in the program.
Now, you guys are both in the middle of your recruiting season. Recruits are coming in almost daily. Marty, you can answer this first. What is recruiting like nowadays?
Recruiting is always tough. But, you know, it's the process that lasts year round and never stops. And it is an exciting part because we're looking to build off where we left off this year. And it's exciting, I think, for the girls, and it's an exciting part of it for the new kids that we're looking to bring in because we have a plan, we have a vision to compete in this league. And a lot of times they want to be a part of something that's building. But it's a hard process because you're trying to show them everything that's great about coming here, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do for the next 4 years. So.
And Ben, you know, you were going through this process 15 years ago as a student athlete. Talk about it, how much it's changed in those 15 years.
Well, I think a lot of it now is kids are, you know, there's more people involved when you recruit. You know, when I was growing up, it was just the high school coaches and their family. And now you've got AAU coaches. You're following kids a lot more. I think the media with the internet and Sports Center and everything else on TV, that kids are seeing on TV a lot more. So a lot higher aspirations for kids, and they see guys they've played against that are on TV, and that's their goal. But we've got a great institution here to be able to bring a potential student athlete on campus. They can see the facilities, they can see what type of education they can get here, but they can see what type of people that are on this campus. You know, the students, the faculty, and the staff, which makes this place great.
And, you know, the ESPN, they do the National Signing Day for football. They do a whole 24-hour broadcast of that. Do you think that has kind of ruined recruiting a little bit? Either one of you can answer that.
No, I don't think so. I think the only thing it does is it puts these kids on higher up, and so the only way they really have to go is down. I think we kind of get too high aspirations of some kids before they've even played a game at the college level. And so, you know, everybody is always trying to find why aren't they doing a certain thing wrong. Well, they're good players. They are good players, but they're not held up to the aspirations of what you're making them out to be. But I think it's great for those kids. They're honored. They've worked hard, and they're getting to do what they've always dreamed of. And
the one kid, the kid that you signed in the early signing period in the fall, Gwen Zahner, can you talk about what you expect from her?
Well, that's a need, and she's a true post player, and that's something that we definitely need moving forward. She's a great kid. She's a good student as well, and I think she brings a lot to the program just with her, 6-foot kid, just with her size and her length in there, and will take up room both offensively and defensively for us from the athletic standpoint. And I'm excited, and I think as a freshman it takes them time to adjust, and they're on a roller coaster. They have good days and bad days, and they're up and down, but she's going to get a lot of experience right away.
And do you know how her team did in the state tournament in Indiana at all?
They actually won more games this year than they have in any other year, and so they had a really good year, and that's great for her senior year and leaving on a good note. So, but we're excited to get her in a UIS uniform.
And talk about the seniors that you're losing, Ben, and what they meant to your time here at UIS.
Well, I think with Brandon Farmer and Kendall Burridge, Stephen Spinks, and Ryan Thornton, they added some leadership. Guys that have been here they've been here for a few years. They understood what this place was about, and bringing 10 new guys in, they were able to help them adjust, and then they helped me adjust when I first got here. They just provided good leadership for our program, and they've helped lay the foundation of where we're trying to go from here with the first step in going to Division II, and they're a part of the process moving forward.
And one of the kids that really stepped up for you at the end of the year was Jermaine Love Roberts, scoring, playing time, and all that really went up towards the end of the year.
Yeah, Jermaine's a very talented individual. I mean, as you watch him run, he runs like a deer. He's very, very smooth with he runs. But I was very proud of him because he bought into with his shooting. We tried to help him adjust with his shooting a little bit, but he's able to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. He's added the jump shot from the perimeter. And he shot almost 90% from the free throw line in conference. Very good defensive player, and part of the nucleus of guys that we've got coming back next year that help us win.
And you touched on it a little bit earlier about Alyssa Palmer, just a jackrabbit out there at times when she can just dribble and get to the hoop and draw the foul. And talk about Alyssa and your thoughts. As you said, you touched on it a little bit earlier.
Alyssa has, I mean, she has the ball in her hands a lot. She's our primary ball handler, but she has a quick first step and she has quickness overall in her game, and she has some strength. And I think once she adjusted to the level that she was and realized that she was able to get by anybody, and there's not a lot of people that can guard her in our league because she is so quick. And she had to gain some confidence, and that took a few months for her to get there. But I really do think she's one of the best freshmen in the league, and I look for great things from her. She became our leading scorer by the end of the year, and I think that's just a testament to her developing and maturing as a player, but also gaining some confidence that you can play on this floor and you can play against these top 25 teams in the country. And I'm excited to have her back because she'll have a year of experience where she got a lot of experience both coming in off the bench and as a starter for us.
And can you tell me where that game, a game on your particular schedule where you're like, shoot, I wish we had that game over again?
Oh gosh, there's I think a few that the girls would agree that we wish we had back. The one that always sticks out in my mind is the UMSL game when there was just under 5 minutes left and we're down by 18 points, and next thing you know there's 36 seconds left on the clock and it's a 2-possession game and we had the ball on a 2-possession game, and I think it's just a testament to the girls. They don't ever give up. They never quit. Regardless of time and score, they never quit, and they kept fighting. And that's the one game that I just felt like we ran out of time. We dug ourselves a hole in the beginning, and we just ran out of time. But the momentum was in our favor. But I keep telling them, if you work hard, good things will happen, and I think we saw that at the end of the year.
And talk about your shoot games.
I don't know if we really say that, but I think our guys, every game we went into, we learned from. And as long as we learned from and got better as we went along, that was the biggest thing. It's hard to look back, as hindsight's always 20/20. You look at mistakes here or there that I made, but try to just keep going forward. And we learn from that game, that situation. We move forward and go on to the next player, go on to the next game. And we did that as we got to the Lewis game and Parkside. We learned from the first time we played them, and we went forward. And guys competed. And that's all we could ask for, is to compete and get better each day, and they did that.
Now, you both tell your kids, or all your kids, they're here to learn and all that. Is it as much as a learning process for you as it is for them, Marne?
On that court?
Yeah, I mean on the coaching level, and because you teach them how to play.
I think each team is different, and this year with having a lot of young kids, it was just trying to have them understand what it was like to be at the college level and on a bigger court, and that you can't take a possession off. And I think that sometimes the difference is you never can take a possession off, and when the lights come on, we've got to be able to take what we've done in practice and what we've learned in practice and put it into the game situation. But I think our girls do a really good job of that. I don't have any complaints there. We have to get better.
And you teaching your kids, Ben?
Yeah, I think there's a direct correlation with basketball and life, and you've got to learn to work with one another. You've got to be a good teammate. You've got to come in and work hard every day. And when you go out in life or in the classroom, you got to work hard in the classroom. You got to pay attention. You got to do your work and stay on top of everything, and to help these guys go on and be successful when they leave here. The basketball is going to stop bouncing someday, and hopefully when they get done here, they've had a great career basketball, but they've had a good career in the classroom and socially, and they can take everything we've taught them. Hopefully it's more about basketball, and they can learn about life and go forward and be successful in life.
And another one of your kids that's coming back, Ben, Michael Fuquati, named third-team All-Conference this year. Are you expecting bigger things from Michael Fuquati?
Well, I think you saw in Michael that he got better as the year went along. He came in and he was hurt early on, and probably threw him out there too quick in the Lincoln game where we played him too many minutes just first coming back, but we need him where we were at in the situation, and he took that role of being the go-to guy and dominated, both trying to get him to dominate consistently on the offensive end and defensive end, where he was 4th in the country in block shots. He led the conference in rebounding, averaged 13 points a game. He's got a bright future ahead of him, but he's got to learn, to keep getting better. Don't get satisfied, because this team's got a long ways to go, but he's got a big part in where this team goes next year.
Now, Marty, do you feel that you guys were snubbed not by getting any GOV All-Conference members?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think we just talked to the team about, things we have to do, and we didn't win enough games in the league, and that's to be expected. So I just think it makes the girls a little hungrier to get those accolades. But individual awards, I'm not as concerned with, as I would rather have the team award. I think they would much rather have a conference championship or an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament than an individual award, and I think that's just a testament to the type of kids. Again, I've said that a lot, but we have great kids, and I'm excited about them coming back. But I think they'll work harder, but we need to do it as a team, because even individual awards, somebody had to give them the ball to do certain things, and it's still a team award in the end.
And in the classroom, rather, both your kids, a lot of your kids were members of the athletic director's honor roll. Both of you can touch on that and the AD honor roll that they were honored on.
One of our team goals is to be in the top 25 in the country academically, and we're moving in the right direction as our GPA increased from last year to this year. So that's one of the things that we talk about, is we have to take care of business in the classroom as well. And I like kids that work hard on the floor, and my expectation is that they work hard in the classroom and out in the community as well.
Well, we had 5 or 6 guys with over a 3.0, another guy with a 2.99, and I think it's, they try to tell these guys that someday the basketball is going to finally stop bouncing, and they take advantage of the chance you've got to get a great education here and take advantage of it and move forward. Getting a University of Illinois degree means the world, and these guys all have a great opportunity here to get that and take advantage and go out there and use it.
And Ben, you actually had a chance this past week to help a man that was in some trouble, and your basketball team helped as well.
Yeah, the Dreams with the hospice center had brought a man in that was a basketball player in high school and had not been to a basketball game for several years, and our guys were able to go out and play and compete, against one another to give this guy a dream of his. And anything we can do to help out the community, anybody in the community or any organization, we're willing to do that. But to see the look on his face and what it means to our guys can see what they actually do and what their people's reaction are to what the basketball program means to them. And it was just a great honor and a great privilege that we had to be able to go out and do that.
And Marne, you got a lot of great feedback from your breast cancer game that you had in February. Talk about your thoughts on the breast cancer game and how much money you guys raised.
This year we were able to raise $700 for the American Cancer Society, and that stays here in Springfield. And I think, again, Ben touched on this, anything we can do for the community, I think that's part of it. We're there to serve the community as well, and to allow our players to see that, there's sometimes people are going through some tougher things than maybe maybe taking a bad test or missing some few shots in a game, and there's life lessons out there. And what we can do to help is, breast cancer affects a lot of people, and in the statistics show that's usually 1 in 3. Well, if you look at our team, that could hit 3, 4 people, just out of our program at some time in the future. And I think anytime we can help each other out for a better cause, I think that's important.
And also, you guys helped out down in Chatham this weekend at the Fun Fair. Both your teams did, and as did the volleyball team. What was the team's reaction to helping little kids?
I know I can speak for my players, but they loved it. They said that they had a blast, and I think it's because they love just playing with kids and being around the kids, and they had a lot of fun. And I had great feedback from the people over in Chatham. I've had multiple people email me and said, it was great having the players here. The kids loved it. We as adults enjoyed it. They were respectful, and they were just a lot of fun. And the main comment was, we can't wait to have them back next year. And I think we do, and I think we do have great athletes here, great student athletes and ambassadors for our university and for the Springfield community.
And Ben, do you, with so much help in the community, especially your basketball players, do you think it goes back to when they were little kids and they saw their idols on TV and wanted to be like them, and they got a helping hand from them or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. I think our guys can go out there anytime they can be any type of role model, somebody to look up to that they want to be like someday, and be positive influences. And like Marnie said, we've got great student athletes that are they represent the university in a first-class manner, and not afraid to have our guys going into talking to schools or going out and talking to people, because they represent, they carry themselves in a first-class manner, and they're wanting to do what they can to help. And going out there at the grade school and being able to participate with some of the activities. I know a couple of our guys are playing 2-on-2 with the guys, and just to go out there and have fun and enjoy it. But they can look back when they were that age and what they were able to do and have people in their lives. Maybe they can have that effect on somebody else.
All right, thanks a lot, guys, for joining us today on the UIS Prairie Stars Coaches Show. I'm Tony Black. Go Stars.